Hey everybody, Chris Amos here with Winding Road Magazine. I'm going to do a little bit of a POV review on the Mazda CX-3 that I've been driving this week. And I thought I'd start this series because people have been interested. They've expressed some interest in me doing a little bit more talking and giving some opinions about cars. It kind of goes against our philosophy of not saying anything, but I'm going to be uploading these as completely separate videos so that all of our POV night drives and POV test drives will be standalone and kind of will stay true to our old format. But if you like this, let us know in the comments and maybe we'll do some more. So I've had this car for about a week now, and my overall impressions, I really like it. Mazda has done a really nice job with creating a fun to drive small crossover / hatchback. I have a few little let's just go for a little drive and I'll see I'll tell you guys my thoughts as we go. So first of all, this car does handle pretty well. Mazda tends to inject some of their fun to drive DNA in a lot of their lineup, and they've done a really good job with it in this car. It's agile, it feels good, it's responsive. I really like the transmission. The transmission in this car does exactly what you want it to do. It's probably one of the best automatics that I've driven recently. And of course, what's kind of cool too is Mazda has it properly set up so that if you push forward, it's downshift, and pull back, it's upshift, just like a race car. Give you a little bit of an example here. There we go, upshifting, pulling back, and we want to downshift. Look at that, just like a touring car. It's amazing. Only a few manufacturers get it right, and Mazda's one of them. So what else can I say about this car? It rides pretty well. It's a little bit stiff, honestly, for a car like this, but that does give you some pretty nice sporty handling. It's not something that's going to really bother you on a daily basis, and also it's pretty cold out, so shocks are going to be a little bit stiffer anyway right now. It's about 23 degrees. But it is a firm ride. It's definitely not plush. Gas mileage has been great. I've been ragging on it this week quite a bit, and it looks like we've averaged about, 26, 27 miles to the gallon. I think on a highway trip, if you're just cruising about 70, 75 miles an hour, you'd probably expect about 31, 33, 34 miles to the gallon, maybe more. So for being an all-wheel drive car, it's pretty fuel efficient. That's nice. Let's see here. What else? Paddle shifters. They work great. Put it in a sport mode, car shifts and responds a little bit quicker. Pretty instant. And I'm also liking the Skyactiv Engine. This is the same engine that's in a lot of their cars now. It's nice. It has nice linear response. It's pretty quick. I think it sounds nice. It's got some induction noise. This CX-3 is the top of the range model. I never learn anything about these cars, so I should probably tell you that it's the Grand Touring all-wheel drive in Soul Red Metallic. Look at that. 27 city, 32 highway. I'd say that sounds about accurate as far as gas mileage goes. This one has really nice leather interior accents. I really like Mazda's new interior design language. It looks pretty good. These vents are... A lot of this stuff is kind of straight out of the Miata, which is kind of neat. Another thing is this car feels to be about the right size. You get in it, it's nice and small, it doesn't have a big footprint on the road, and from a performance perspective, it definitely helps. The back seat is a little bit cramped. You get back there, I'm 5'10", and I'm not a really big guy, and I've got my driver's seat positioned for my driving position, and I got back there earlier today, and it was a little bit tight, but, for being a small car, it's okay. One nice thing is ingress and egress. Getting in and out of the car is pretty nice. There's lots of headroom. Even with the sunroof, I've got plenty of room up here. Even if I wanted to throw on a racing helmet and take this out to a track day, I'd be in good shape. Let's pull off here and I'll show you a couple things on the inside of the car. One thing I'm not crazy about is this heads-up display. I feel like if you're going to have the heads-up display down that low and not projected onto the windscreen, you'd almost be able to see the speedometer in the same line of sight. So I'm not too sure about that, and this kind of looks flimsy and cheap, and I'm not really sure how to turn it off. I've gone through the menus. I think you probably can turn it off, but I just don't know how. Alright, auto climate control seems to work pretty well. Seat heaters are nice and powerful. No cooled seats, unfortunately, if that's your thing. There's a nice little Alcantara insert here, which feels nice, leather suede. And then this armrest, which I don't particularly like the placement of, but it's there in case if you want it. Little cup holders, and then of course your infotainment controls are down here. Audio system sounds pretty decent, but of course I can't play you anything because of music rights and all that stuff. So there are little red accents here on the door pulls. I kind of like this brushed aluminum trim here on the side. Driving position is good. You've got lots of adjustability up and down. The wheel telescopes goes up and down here, so you've got plenty of adjustment there. And like I said, lots of headroom. All right, let's go to the outside here. One thing I do not like is if you're using the keyless entry feature and you want to open the door, it's really hard to see this button at night. So I'd rather it just be you put your hand there and it senses it, and you can open the door that way, because I don't like taking the keys out of my pocket. This, you have to kind of fish for the button if you're locking it or unlocking it, and it's not as easy as you would think. This is a pretty small car. You look in the back here, and footroom is pretty decent. These headrests definitely need to go up if someone's back there. I'm just putting them down for visibility. But really, I mean, it's not too bad back here. It's just, you're pretty close to the rear of the car if you're sitting in the back seats. Trunk space is pretty decent. There's quite a bit of room back here. And then of course there's another storage compartment down below. That's nice if you need to put valuables back there and you don't want people to see your stuff, even though it does have the cargo cover. Look at those lights. We did have one snowy day this week, and it was actually kind of black ice, and these tires did not like it. Acceleration and turning was pretty good, but braking distances were pretty awful. So if you're going to be driving this car in the winter, I would definitely recommend getting snow tires or a better all-season tire. Just because it's all-wheel drive doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to stop in time. Of course, that's kind of the case with everything. You've got a sunglass holder up here. Sunroof, moonroof, whatever they're calling it these days. And interior lights. What else can I say about this car? I think that's really about it. Overall, I've enjoyed it. It's a great car. I've liked it. It's a good driving experience. It's comfortable. It warms up really quickly. That heater fires on within about, I don't know, maybe a minute of getting in the car and getting going. There's no temperature gauge, but there is a little light that tells you when the coolant has warmed up. So it goes from a little blue light comes on to tell you that the engine's cold, and then it goes off when things are warmed up and up to temperature. So I would say I'm going to give the Mazda CX-3 a yes. That's my POV review of the 2016 Mazda CX-3 Grand Touring all-wheel drive. Cool. See you guys next time. Peace.